And 15 years ago, I went on my first medical expedition to Guatemala in the summer. And we had a, wonderful trip. There was a lot of despair, there was a lot of hope, there was a lot of crying and a lot of laughter. It was just an emotional roller coaster. And I came home and I sat down with my lovely, kind, and gentle wife, Maura, and I said, hey, I want to leave my medical clinic and start this nonprofit. And in her kind and loving and gentle manner, she said, are you freaking nuts? And we worked it out. But I'm very grateful to you, and thanks so much. A friend 2 weeks ago, Corey Forsling, running for treasurer, she said at her acceptance speech for the Democratic nomination, she said, past success is a benchmark for future performance. So I just want to give you a couple of statistics about what the Hope Alliance has done over those 15 years. We've had more than 4,000 volunteers from the U.S. and thousands more locally that help us every time we go do something, as well as continue the projects when we're not there. We've been in 27 countries. Sometimes that's just shipping a container of medical equipment and medical supplies to a Rotary Club that then distributes it, and sometimes it's 15 years of working in Haiti or in Peru. We've worked with Rotary clubs and Rotary districts in 10 different countries. And right now, the Sunrise Rotary Club here in Park City is working on a grant to help Father Mike's orphanage. It will move their livestock pens from where they are right now, which is just upstream from their water supply, downstream, so that the kids don't get sick with diarrheal illnesses. So I want to thank the Sunrise Club for that. And the Rotary Connection has been extraordinary for us. We've had over 90 expeditions. Literally thousands of lives have been saved or changed by the work that we've all supported for so long. We were on the radio last week, or maybe it was this week, doing a little blurb about this, and Leslie threw out that zinger, as she does. And I thought I was done with those zingers, because I'm not on the stinking county council government anymore. But she said, well, John, why, there's so many issues here. There's so many problems right here at home. Why are you going overseas? Why should we support that? And fortunately, I've heard that a few times. And the answer is complicated. I think you can see the volunteers that you just heard from. They don't just go do wonderful things in Guatemala and Haiti and Peru. They come back to our community and they do the same wonderful things here. They're either already engaged here when they go on one of our trips, or they come back with a different life perspective and they get engaged in our community. I handle this personally by doing stuff here too. But the reality is that our resources can go so much further in these other countries. When you think about Father Mike saving Diego's life through the Santa Maria Orphanage, to do that, it may cost $100 a month to put that kid to provide him food, shelter, education. That's pretty inexpensive when you think about, what we can do with $100 here. So that's another good reason why we do this overseas. The other zinger I want to address that you didn't ask, and this is the real one. It needs real chutzpah to ask this question. But I've had it before in public settings, and then it's, if we're out there saving all these lives, aren't we just making the problem worse because there's just too many people in these developing countries? And we're just making the problem worse. And that's a complicated issue as well. But the reality of that is that every research study I've read on that issue, and I read a lot more last night just so I could see this. Every single one says that the birth rate goes down when the quality of life goes up in these developing countries. Because in particular, you empower women to take control of family planning, of educating their children. They know that they're not going to lose 2 or 3 out of 8 kids, and the birth rate goes down. So I want to address those potential pitfalls first. All right. Now we're going to do our strategic plan in the next month or 2, and what we're doing right now is we're focusing on three current programs that we want to expand, and that's why we've asked you here to help us expand our programs. And the first, of course, is with Father Mike and the Santa Maria Orphanage. And if you have seen these kids, we got to share meals with them, we got to share meals with the seniors. The kids were providing, the food to the seniors and cooking the meals and helping out. And if you see how happy and how wonderful their life is and how wonderful it's going to be, and you compare that with where they came from on the street and the life that they would have had, it's extraordinary. So we need to expand that program. We need to help Father Mike at the Santa Maria Orphanage. We need your help to do that. Second thing we want to do is expand our midwife training program. When we can train midwives to do certain very simple things and recognize simple problems in the course of a pregnancy, they can save the mother's life and the baby's life. And we've done midwife trainings in several different countries. What we need to do is expand that program. We have expertise and knowledge and pilot programs. We just need to make it as inclusive as we possibly can. Third thing we want to do, we've been asked to do in north central Guatemala, a very poor rural area, is create a new healthcare system, essentially. There's an area of 50 to 75,000 people that have no access to healthcare. And a local convent has asked us to come in, build a new medical clinic, help train the local providers to work there, provide the equipment, and then expand from there. We can do women's health programs. There are groups that we can partner with down there, do pap smear, follow up with cervical cancer. Simple things like chlorhexidine ointment on the umbilical cord reduces infant mortality dramatically. Folate supplements that we take for granted here to prevent neural tube defects. Neural tube defects are huge in Guatemala. They're just simple steps. And all it takes is the resources to do it. So we're here to ask you as individuals to help these other individuals in these far-flung areas. And the second page, that's good. I saw on the Gates Foundation website last night a philosophy that they live by, and it says all lives are created equal. And I think when you go on any of these expeditions, you really get that in your heart, that all lives are created equal. And I think when we all realize that, and we will someday, when we do that, we will end poverty. And that's really the end goal here. So let's start today, make some great progress, and I just want to thank you all again for coming out and supporting the organization. Thanks very much. And Melissa just gave me some very nice flowers. Thank you, Melissa. That was so sweet. I love tulips. I'd like to ask Jesse and Tomiko to come up and just let us thank you for all the hard work and effort you put into this. Tomiko, thank you so much. It's been such a joy having you on the board. The last thing you are is ordinary. You're an extraordinary woman. Thank you so much for everything you do. So that's it. Well, that's nice. Wow. Thank you, Amy. Gotta love our PR team. Fill out those envelopes on your table and dig really deep and write a humongous check. Thank you very much.